Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Full Throttle Sim Racing Points Truck Series presented by Full Throttle Television. My name is Brady Anna, and in the booth with me tonight is Richie Coy. And Richie, we have an exciting one tonight. Talladega Superspeedway, the Talladega 200 for the Sim Racing Points Truck Series, is sure to put on an exciting and adventurous race for the drivers involved.
Yeah, welcome to the largest track on the NASCAR circuit here. It's 2.66 miles. It's going to give us a lot of 2 wide, 3 wide, and maybe even some 4 wide racing here, but a lot of pack racing as we're under the restrictor plates. So yeah, they're going to be large packs and a lot of shuffling.
Yeah, these guys are going to have a lot to deal with, a lot of pack racing, a lot of traffic to deal with, drafting. And on top of all that, we've got a new update to iRacing, so the draft model a little bit different for these trucks. A lot of the guys are talking about how much easier they can pull up on the guys in front of them. We'll see a lot of push drafting tonight. That's another thing these guys have to worry about. But as we come into race 4 of the 14-race season here for the trucks, let's look at our points as they stand right now. James Morris comes in with a points lead over William Lark, but it's a slim one. Actually, they're tied, so they come in with a tie here.
That's a real slim one.
Real slim margin. As Robert Malikian's right there with them, Brendan Polt, Michael Blackner, Greg Valade, all right there together, running closely in the points. Still a long way to go, but something to be looking at for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you got 30 points back to 7th place, but with stage points and Talladega, that can flip very, very easily tonight.
Absolutely, and then the playoffs will just flip over right quick. Moreau still leading the playoff points for sure with all those wins. You got everybody in wins, everybody with wins in the black highlight, everybody looking for a win behind them, and then you see the cutoff to 16th. Still a long way to go here, but these guys are going to be looking for a win to kind of lock themselves into that playoff fight at the end of the season.
Well, it's, Talladega is one of those tracks that produces a lot of first-time winners or gives wins to guys that don't end up in victory lane a lot. So it's definitely, it can be a point spoiler, but it can also give somebody a great day. So we'll see how it goes. A
lot of people say that Talladega is a wild card, and it indeed is. You could end up with a surprise winner for sure tonight. We got an interesting schedule too, though. Looking at the schedule, Pocono after this next week. You got Lime Rock, you've got Iowa, short track, you got Daytona back in there with another super speedway. Then you got Worldwide Technology, a track all of its own. Very interesting schedule. Then one of my favorite tracks, Lucas Oil. But anyway, just a lot of different tracks coming these guys' way in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, that's what I like to see is a very diverse schedule, which makes that the guy at the end of the year that wins the championship is going to be the one that does the best at all those different tracks, and I love to see that.
Absolutely, and we're looking at tonight's race, Talladega. Let's look at the race info for tonight's event here at Talladega Super Speedway. 2.66 miles around this high-banked, fast Talladega Super Speedway. Very wide as well. You're going to see a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing. No lifting here for those guys that are unfamiliar. There's no lifting here at this track unless you're pitting or getting out of the way. So a lot of full throttle racing action here, and you're going to see a little bit of everything here. You may see some pit strategy in the second run, but this first run running to the stage is only 20 laps, so it's going to be kind of a short sprint to the finish here for the stage.
Well, you say only 20 laps, but that's still like over 45 miles. So it sounds a lot. It sounds really like a small amount of laps, but a lot of time in 20 laps to either make your race or, unfortunately, wreck your race. So I would expect to see a lot of patience coming up to about lap 15, and then they'll ramp up from about 15 on.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see a lot of different. Well, I won't say different strategies. I think you'll see the same thing, probably just different times to pit, maybe in that second run. The race itself being 90, is it 80 and 94? How many laps we got total tonight?
75.
75 laps.
75
tonight.
laps.
So
yep.
You're looking at about a third of a distance for the stage. So should be fun. Should be interesting though, because the guys starting in the back are going to have to fight their way to the front without the ability to use a pit stop. And the guys in the front are going to try to maintain track position till we get to the stage. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then anything can happen in the second stage, and that's where I think you're going to get a lot of variance in what's going to happen.
All right, so as these guys grade up, we're going to shoot to our starting lineup tonight for the Talladega 200, the Sim Racing Points Truck Series. On pole tonight at Talladega is going to be the 71 of Brendan Polt. To his outside, the 24, that is William Lark, although 24 will be going to the rear for a penalty. The 88 of James Morris will start P3. Fourth place is going to go to the 43 of Lewis Meglin. Good run for him. Chris Gordon is going to start P5 in number 89. The 99 of JP Burns, his teammate, will start beside him in P6. Seventh place is going to be the 21 of Wyatt Huntley. Eighth is going to be the 76, that's Cameron Albertson. Starting P9, the 13 of Brian Messer, and 10th spot, ending up row 5, is going to be the 16 of Robert Malikian.
Aaron Satcher in the 68 rolls off in 11th. With his outside, we Michael Blackner in the 22. Wayne Grossi fills out the 13th position with Dave Nestor to his outside in the 36. Ryan Lark is starting 15th in the 00, with Grant Robichaux starting outside in 16th in the 19. Michael Deitch starts 17th in the 70, with Nim Silva in the 51 starting to his outside. Tony Solari starts 19th in the number 11, with Joseph Burgess starting to his outside in 20th.
Right on 21st is going to be, that's the leader in the playoff standings, Nicholas Moreau in the 15 starts 21st. 22nd is going to be the 77 of Noah Nicholson. Starting 23rd is going to be Jeff Chandler in the number 31. 24th is going to be the 10 of Ryan Chapman, last week's winner. Starting 25th is the 4 of Jonathan Atkins. 26th is going to be the 81, Raymond Fiera. 26th is going to be Jonathan, I lost my spot. 26th is going to be Richard Myers. Alan Duranco, 27th. Then you have Brandon Elder, Shad Curran, Greg Verlade, Deshaun Gorham, Mason Hoffner, Kyle Milliken, rounding out your 34-car field.
I got 37 trucks, but I think there's 36 of them actually on the track.
But we don't have a Marshall Johnson. We don't have a Markyle Henderson.
Oh, yeah, right. So we're down to 35. Yeah, we've had a couple connection issues tonight, so. But we got a couple connection issues going on tonight, so hopefully they can get that sorted out and they can come in and pop in later in the race. But yeah, here we go. We're all lined up going down the backstretch. This is where you want to put your belts tight. You want to get everything set where you're going to be, because it's going to be like driving down the highway, but it's a very intense highway.
It is. It's a high-speed highway, too, and a lot of things happen really fast here. These guys are going to have to adjust quickly. One thing with that penalty, moving Lewis Meglin actually to the front row on the outside, so it's going to be a good start for him on the front row. We'll see how some teammates and teamwork works out tonight. I know it's always kind of a topic when you come here about, getting with your teammates and planning out those moves and even pit strategy together. We'll see how that plays out. Final thoughts, though, Richie, and a pick for tonight's win.
Oh, going to put me on the spot, huh? I'm gonna pick Robert Malikian. The elevated has been really good here with these super speedway races, so I'm gonna pick an elevated.
That's a solid choice for sure. If I'm looking through the field, I'm gonna go with Kyle Milliken, his teammate, because he's done this before. He's won here before, and he knows how to get it done. He's really good at these super speedways. We'll see if he can get it done here tonight. Pace car is going to pull off, though. They're going to come down to the restart zone. Brendan Polt leading them down. Lewis Meglin on the outside row as they come through the tri-oval, and they see the flag stand. They're waiting for the green. Green flag is out, and we are racing here at Talladega.
Yeah, and this is one of those tracks where you don't get a huge gap, and you don't want one, because you don't want to get too far away from the guy behind you, because the guy on the outside or guy on the inside, they get linked up. They can shoot out and take the lead, as the 71 and 88 are doing, and the 43 and 99 are doing a great job of leading both lanes here going down the backstretch.
The 71 and 88 being teammates. They got a great jump on the start together, and they pulled out, but now that outside lane is formed up. They are organized, and the 43 getting a push from the 99. As the 43 pulls to the bottom, he's going to take the lead on the inside row, coming to 3.
We're going to see that a lot tonight. I think, where you're going to get guys that aren't with their teammates that are going to get pushed to the front and the outside, and then just drop the outside lane and move up to the lead and in the bottom. So 43 is going to probably lead this first lap here.
Coming to complete lap 1, the 99 of J.P. Burns leading that outside lane. Having a little bit of a connection issue, but that 43, Lewis Megley leading that inside lane is going to lead lap 1.
Yep, now it's going to take a whole lap for the outside lane to form back up here and get a run going down the backstretch. But the blinking of the 99 may cause a little bit of an issue with that, because when the truck disappears, that draft goes away.
As they come down the backstretch, they snake down the backstretch. Inside lane's got a lot of trucks in it, but that outside lane is still pushing hard, trying to make something happen. You're right, though, with that flashing, that blinking, it makes it really hard to push that truck in front.
Yeah, and it makes, I know I get all kinds of nervous when I see that. When you got somebody in front of you blinking, especially on a track like this where you need to be right behind them. That's the last place you usually want to be, behind a blinking truck.
Here comes that outside lane, though, with a little momentum. J.P. Burns leading the outside. Cameron Albertson trying to give him that push as they head off into 1.
And the outside lane is definitely formed back up again, but Polt's doing a great job of pushing the 43 in the bottom lane, giving him just enough energy to move out ahead of him.
As they snake down the backstretch once again, everything cool, calm, and collected so far. We got a couple trucks leaving pit lane here.
Yeah, they had a penalty to serve. One served it right away. The other one served it on the second lap. So there's like a whole gaggle of trucks, which will be helpful because then I'll have somebody to draft with back there. Got a truck fading to the outside there. Probably just going to the back.
2x2 still up front, still side by side. As that outside lane tries to hang with that inside lane, and doing a good job so far. So far so good. Again, lap 20 is what the race took to the stage, so a little ways to get there, but they're still working towards that.
Yeah, eventually they're going to have to probably move JP to the back because he's going to start bringing this, and it looks like they're going. Oh no, he's pushing. It's going to get, if he continues to blink, it's going to be an issue for the outside lane. So at some point they may ask him to pop to the back here and let somebody else lead the outside lane.
Yeah, first three trucks kind of breaking away there. The first 3 trucks are clear. Lewis Meglin, Brendan Polt, James Morris on the inside there. And again, you got 2 teammates. Here comes that outside lane once again, though.
Yeah, you can get a huge run on the outside, but with the guy not in second, not pushing as hard, and maybe not pushing as hard because of the blinking, but there he goes as he just gets to the back bumper to 99 to push him down the back of the backstretch. They're going to be even going into 3.
Good run going down the backstretch into 3. By that outside lane, the top 2 trucks on the bottom also very close together. Goes the 99 flashing once again.
Yeah, I mean, I would be so nervous as the second truck in the lane, for sure. But and the same token, JP might not even know he's blinking. A lot of times, sometimes what will happen is everything looks fine from your end, whatever the way iRacing works. Your end doesn't look fine to everybody else, which is why the blinking happens. But there it goes again. But 2x2 as they go down the backstretch here. A little bit of a gap from the front 3 and the bottom to 4th and 5th.
Yeah, they're really close together. That 4th place truck on the bottom, who is that? That's going to be
Chris Gore in the 89.
Chris Gore. Just kind of taking it easy at this point. Not much for him to do right now. Those top 3 are kind of pulling this train along. You don't want to leave a gap for somebody to slide in, but you also don't have to be right there on the bumper either. So he's doing a good job just kind of maintaining at this point. Again, still a ways to go to lap 20.
So, and this is the frustrating part of plate racing, is that we're all 2x2, and with everybody all packed in like this, it gets very tough to make any moves. So everybody could be riding at this particular point because there's nowhere to really go. And like I said, I don't expect to see anything until about lap 15, and then we might start seeing a 3rd lane form, and that's when people are going to start to spread out. It'll get exciting.
99 dipping out to the front there as they head off into turn 3, and now dipping out.
Oh, he's out. Oof.
He's doing it. He's doing it. All right, you see the 99 pulling to the top. He knows he's got an issue here, so he's letting these guys go.
You hate to see it as the competitor. You hate to see it as it's a tough call, but you don't want to screw up everybody else's race because, you know, one bad blink and it could wreck the entire field, especially being on the leader of the outside lane. But now the 16 is pushing the 76. They got a great run going down the backstretch here.
Just watching this 3 wide. It's not even easy to get out of the way here at Talladega as JP Burns is trying to drop to the back, and it's just tough there. You run out of room there. But you're right, the top side now it's got a solid push going on the top. You got Robert Maliki in your pick pushing the 76 of Cameron Albertson trying to take the lead.
Yeah, and don't count out the guy running third there on the outside line, Michael Blackner. He runs good on these plate tracks when he runs up front. Usually he doesn't like to run up front. He likes to hang around in the back, but I guess he's looking for some stage points as they are catching a lap truck at the 24 where they drive through early on in the race here.
They're going to pull to the inside, and the 24 is going to drop back. Unfortunately, that penalty is going to fall a lap down here, but the first car a lap down at this point, so he kind of wants to maintain. He can get that lap back at the stage.
Yeah, he was the other guy that pitted is drafting, and the 24 was out by himself, so he had no draft help. He'll fall in the back of this pack here, and like you said, he should be able to get the lucky dog because he's the only one to lap down. So, race ain't over yet. The outside lane is still trying to get that momentum up to try to take the lead back here as Robert Maliki is going to close in here on the 76 of Cameron Albertson to try to push him back down into the lead going into 3.
2 by 2 as they head down the backstretch into 3. The 43 still leading on the inside with that help from the 71. And that 76 is still hanging tough on the outside. I got a feeling, though, Richie, they just probably are kind of biding their time. At least the first couple trucks on the outside. They want to be up front, but they don't, they know they don't have to necessarily go now. They're in position to fight for that when it comes down to the last lap of the stage.
So there is a couple things you need to keep in mind now. So second and the bottom 2 on the second and third truck on the bottom lane are teammates. So the 76 does not want to go back farther past the 88 because I have a feeling if they go back, if he ends up behind the 88, the 71 and 88 are going to leapfrog the 43 here and try to take that stage win.
Yeah, I agree. They're in good position to do so, but they need a space to do so as well. And the 76 needs to be aware of that. The 43 needs to be aware of that as well. And he's got to know that move is probably coming at the end of this run. They're not just going to push him to the win. There's no way.
They may if there's nowhere to go. So as a 43,
you got to force him to do that.
Right, you got to back him up and play with that outside lane. If you get too far out front, that's where you'll lose it. So he's going to need to be cognizant of where the 76 is, and because it's been close a couple times now, where he's been almost back next to the 88, but he needs to keep that in mind. Teammates come to play, but they need a spot. They need to be able to go somewhere.
As they come off turn 2 down the backstretch once again. Again, everybody just trying to fight. And I would say if you're in the top 6 or so, top 8, you're pretty comfortable where you are. But those guys back in the back, they know that stage is coming up. They've got to be getting a little antsy. And I'm telling you, just watch for that outside lane to develop. Somebody will jump out there on the top lane. And eventually that will be the lane that starts moving forward just because of the checkups happening on the bottom 2 lanes. It'll also stall out that second lane.
Yeah, and it's so deceiving when you're running around. So like you're saying, you're Brian Messer in the 13th, who's right now 8th. But he's like the 4th guy in the bottom line. You're like, I'm right in the front. But then you look at where you are and you're like, holy crap, I'm like 8th or 10th because you could pack. So, the 76 is back behind the 88. This might be what the 71 and 88. Are they going to take advantage of this?
Let's see if they make this move. They look content to
No.
ride right now.
Wow, I would have expected them to leapfrog. But yeah, so you're riding around, you're thinking I'm in a great position, and all of a sudden you're like 10th, and you're like, but I'm only 4th or 5th in the bottom lane. But there's still those 4 or 5 other guys packed up top. It's it can be very frustrating because you think you're doing good, but then all of a sudden you're out of the stage points just like that.
And I usually, at these races, if I'm in the top 6 or 8, I'm like, okay, good stage points, I can get stage points. But if I'm running like 13th and there's nowhere to go like this, I'm usually thinking, okay, I just want to make sure to survive this and make it out of this, because there's a good chance I'm not going to get stage points. I want to save my truck and make sure I'm there to race for it at the end of the next end of the race.
Yeah, I would tend to be the same thing. I would, at this particular point, I would take anything that was given to me, but I wouldn't be looking for anything, if you know what I mean. I'm riding, I'm content of where I'm at, and then if something presents itself and you're like, all right, let's use it. But because you don't want to throw anything away to try to get that 1 or 2 stage points and not be able to get a good run at the end of the race.
Absolutely. Here comes the 76 back on the outside of the 43. They're going to be side by side as they hit the line. We've only got 5 laps to go to the stage.
Yeah, this is when I predicted that things should start to ramp up, but I don't know. They're looking a bit calm out there. I'm a little shocked.
They are up front, but out back, the 24 being a lap down. There's a couple of moves being made back here. I think somebody's just getting out of line, they're doing what I said I would do. Is if I'm not in contention, I'm going to get myself out of trouble, out of harm's way here, and make sure I save it. Looks like the 10 of, was that Ryan Chapman dropping back a little bit, saying he's seen enough.
It's just odd because he usually tries to go forward as best he can here at these plate tracks. Usually all of Elevated does a really good job. You got Kyle back there running side by side with Ryan, the 2 elevated, and then you got Robert Maliki and the other elevated all the way up front pushing the outside line here. So varying, and Dave Nestor's up there too. So varying strategies there by Elevated.
Yeah, Michael Blackman right there behind Robert Maliki, and you got to wonder if they're maybe thinking of something, making a move there at the end too. It'll be interesting to see though. You see the 71 all over the back bumper of the 43 as they go down the back stretch, and the 76 actually is going to clear. So is the 16, and
somebody there. Oh, gee. Not reckon. Definitely sideways.
Somebody sideways back there. Who's that on the apron?
I saw Tony back there. I'm pretty sure I saw Tony back there.
They hang on to it. That was Kyle
We're
Milliken.
gonna have to go back and watch that. Yeah, was it?
Yeah. But they come down.
Oh yeah, sideways. So I'm not sure what happened there. It was definitely a checkup, as I think the 71 to 43, maybe the 43 got a little bit of a sideways with that push that the 71 gave him and caused a checkup on the bottom lane going in that corner. But you're right, the 76 and the 16 both took advantage and was able to clear to 43, as now the 36 and 22 are leading the outside lane.
Interesting. Well, that's going to move our teammates back even farther to 4th and 5th in line. They're going to less of a chance here. Here comes the 22 of Michael Blackner on the outside with pushes, with help from, is that from Dave Nestor on the outside?
Yep, and the 36, Dave Nestor. Got Grant Robichaux in the 19 behind Dave, and Nim Silver in the 51 has made his way up from 18th starting spot, pushing the 19 there with the 4 and the 7 following suit on the outside.
That outside lane's going to have to get a little more organized if they're going to do anything here on the top side. Going to have to get a big run here. You see the front 2 on the inside. Here comes the 16 pulling up in front of the 22. Malikian looking for the lead with a push from the 22 of Michael Blackner.
Oh, that could be good. Maybe a bit early, but sometimes you got to take what it's given to you. But Michael's giving a good push coming to the front stretch here. This is 2 laps to go to the stage?
Yep, we're going to come to 2 to go to the stage. Complete lap 18, starting lap 19 here. Big push from the 22 of Blackner as they come to the line.
I don't know if he could push for 2 solid laps. But they're going to try to give it their all here. They still got a lap and a half to go. 76 leading the bottom line as Malikian has moved up to the top lane.
Somebody ducked out to the top lane, but nobody went with him, so he's going to go backwards.
That would be Nim Silva in the 51. Yeah. Not. You need partners here. You need to have dance partners here.
Watching the front, 16 trying to get a run, trying to get that push from the 22. 22's probably overheating a little bit. They come down here to the tribal to come to see one to go for the stage. Can they get back to the front?
Ooh, 22 going outside the 16.
Ooh.
And
we
somebody got turned. 19 is upside down. Oh, the 19.
Caution.
It killed me. The night. Caution.
Caution is out.
All I saw was the 19 on its lid, and I get excited when I see a 19 upside down like that.
19 is on fire, and not in a good way.
Oh. Well, this will definitely be the stage.
It looks like it's scoring Albertson out front.
Yes. Albertson, Meglin, Polt, Malikian, James Morris, Michael Blackner, David Nestor, Chris Gore. It actually scores Grant Robichaux in ninth. Joseph Burgess and Wayne and Joseph Purvis round out the top 10. So
let's go back and look and see what happened here. Our best one tire and auto care instant replay. It's not going to show the right car, so I'm going to have to find it. I don't know why it's doing that now.
Yeah, it starts with the 19.
Oh, and he comes down and flips over. I don't know how he ended up coming down on the truck there, but
a couple of guys involved too. 99, it's 00, 90 got pieces of that.
Rossi involved there.
Yep.
Let's see if we can get on board the 19 here. I don't know if we want to ride with this one or not. This is wild. Woo, what a ride. And nothing more wrong. Engine expires. Race over.
That was a big one. That was a big one.
Yeah.
I would ride along with the 7. If we got time.
We'll go with the 7 here. It makes a 3 wide between the 19. 19 just continues to come down. Hole closes.
And keep watching because there's some contact after the initial contact.
He finally spins out. Yep. Woo. Wild times here at Talladega.
Absolutely. And Jeff Chandler trying to get through it. I think when Wayne came back up, Wayne in the 7 came back up, I think he just tagged Jeff too, so he got some damage on that one as well.
Well, stage is complete. Guys came in for their pit stop. Coming out in the lead is Lewis Meglin, Robert Malikian, Brendan Polt, James Morris, Michael Blackner, your top 5 coming off pit road. Your lucky dog will be the 24, William Lark. He was able to avoid all that and get his lap back, so he'll be on the lead lap.
I was about to say, he went through that entire mess and was able to make it through. Because if he had any contact at all, they would have taken away from him. So, great job by missing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now the second stage will begin, and in this particular stage, they are going to have to be. They go green all the way. We are going to have to pit in this stage. So.
Yep, there'll be pit stops for sure. Not sure if Wayne drove through the pits or is he going a lap
No,
down?
I think it. Yeah, he's going into pits now. I don't think he pitted originally.
Because he's not showing on the top of the leaderboard. It makes me wonder if he's going to go a lap down here now. If he fell behind the pace car.
Oh, maybe, yeah. It's not showing him a lap down yet. But it may when he comes back. There he goes. Just put him up a lap down.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, he got tied up there and didn't get going before the pace car picked up the field, I guess.
All right, they're 2x2.
We get the restart here at Talladega. Some wild and crazy racing there towards the end of the stage. Now we settle in for a longer run to the end of the race. Racing to lap 75.
Yeah, this is in the stage racing. This is where you can kind of sit back and relax a little bit. You don't need to be up on the wheel because you don't need to be hitting that stage at lap 20. So you can kind of relax a little bit here, or as much as you possibly can on one of these plate tracks.
I'm looking for a picks. Your picks on the front row. I had to go back a little bit for mine. Count Milliken in the 42, back in 32nd position. Still yet to show up at the front of the field. Usually really good in qualifying too. Just did not have the qualifying lap that I expected out of him.
Yeah, he hasn't been qualifying that well actually recently, but he races really well. So never count him out.
Long way to go.
A lot of racing yet, yes, absolutely. Plus, if they do go green all the way, that one pit stop is where it'll start to separate the field a little bit. So you don't want to screw up your green flag pit stop, but pace car's off.
Yep, pace car's going to pull off here. We're going to get back going. Lewis Megley leading the way. Robert Malikian on the outside lane. Polt, Morris, and Blackner, your top five. They're going to come to the Geico restart zone here on the front stretch in the bend here. Green flag is out, and we are racing once again here at Talladega for the Talladega 200. Somebody did not get going.
Yeah, the 16 did not get going there, but I think they did a pretty good job of not checking up too bad. Is now it gives the perfect opportunity for the 88 to fall in underneath behind his partner, his 71, his teammate. 16 is alone out there.
Yeah, I was going to say Robert Malikian out there by himself right now, but he's got help coming if he can hang on back there. Chris Gore, I believe, coming on the outside lane.
Dave Nestor and Chris Gore sitting out there. And I believe that's Aaron Satcher in the 68 that's back there too. So he's got plenty of help back there. Well, Aaron just went down, so plenty of help. He's got two help. It's all elevated all the time right there on the outside.
3 wide back here. This one car is falling back on the high side there.
That's Ryan Chapman again falling back.
Not time to go yet. Those guys are showing a lot of patience. We'll see if it pays off. And if they can stay out of trouble, be around at the end, this will really pay off for them.
So falling in on the outside, we got the 52 of Brandon Elder, followed by the 21 of Wyatt Hunley. The 21 had a pass-through, so he was able to stay on the lead lap and is now up inside the top 13 now. So his race is back on track, and right behind him on the outside, Nicholas Moreau.
Right on board the 52, Brandon Elder, just seeing everything going on in front of them. Given plenty of space at this point. No need to push the issue at this stage of the race. Like I said, we just started this long run to end the race here, so just trying to find somewhere to ride in line. He's finding a nice spot here on the outside.
Yeah, so this is the time, like I said, you ride around. So now you're finding teammates finding each other. So you got Elevated up top. You got Elliott Esports 2 and 3 in the bottom. But now you got GHR and the 52, the 4, and the 21 riding on the outside line together. So we're starting to see teammates that have found each other through the pit stop cycles here.
You're right. You got teammates starting to show up together. Meanwhile, this 43 out front is teammate-less. I think that's the word. But he doesn't have a teammate in the field. But he's right now, he's leading. He's making it work. He's leading the field. It's just going to be tough towards the end of this race when you have no, I won't say no friends. You may have friends out there, but you don't have friends that are committed to working with you, I guess.
The only way you got friends at a racetrack is if you bring them with you and you don't race against them.
Yeah.
Because 5 laps to go at the end of one of these races, unless usually your teammates pushing you, even then, I've had the privilege of being pushed to the checkered flag by my teammate. I've also had the privilege of having my teammate completely leave me on coming out of 4 and then take the win over the top of me. So it could go either way, even with teammates. So it's all a matter of who needs to do what in the playoff picture as well. So
yeah, I'm an equal opportunity teammate. Why not?
Not even just you. Tony's done it to me too.
No. It happens. Yeah, you're right. It does. It's all circumstantial too. You know, the situation kind of sometimes dictates how that works with teammates and all. Plus, if it's in the best interest of you just to stay in line, like I think a lot of these guys are right now, you're content to ride in line. Now, when that that lap ticker starts ticking down, is that Michael Blackner ducking out back there?
No, it's 89 Chris Gore.
Okay, Chris Gore's going to abandon. He's going to go back there with his teammates. But when that lap ticker starts ticking down, it gets harder and harder to just ride in line. As a driver, you get more and more anxious, and that's sometimes when the mistakes come out as well.
Yeah, and I'm teasing because the one time that when you're racing in a pack and there's more than just your teammates there, that's when you push your teammate. So we've had times where we've come together and we were fighting other teams for the win, and we all stayed together. But we've also had times where it was just 1, 2, or 3 of us making it out of 4, and then it's basically any truck for himself at that particular point. Whoever gets there, as long as you're not wrecking each other.
Was that the 74 looking low off the turn, or was that the 43 going high off turn 2? I couldn't really tell. It looks like the 71 looked a little lower, like he was kind of just kind of teasing the fact that you leave this open, I'm going to take it.
I did see that, and I'm not sure. I think it might have been a little bit of both. 43 up a little bit, 71 down a little bit. These trucks do move a lot in the draft.
Well, I tell you what.
Yeah, go ahead.
They got a little disorganized on the front there. I saw that on the outside lane, but lost a little momentum. But again, still so far to go. These guys are just probably learning more than anything at this point. Learning what your truck's going to do in the draft. Can I pull out? Can I lead? Can it push? How hard to push? All that stuff. You're just building a notebook at this point for the end of the race.
Yeah, and you got other guys that are just like, all right, nobody's doing anything silly. We're just going to ride. Somebody like Jeff Chandler, who looks like his truck might be okay. He didn't do as much damage as I thought. And he's just riding around. He's leaving a little bit of a gap in case there's a bit of a checkup. He's got a little bit of room to soften that blow of a checkup on the bottom line. Behind him, you got Michael Deitch in the Wonder Bread 70 truck. The throwback to Ricky Bobby there.
Figure out on board 70 here. Talladega Nights.
He's just missing the Fig Newton across the windshield. I don't know why iRacing doesn't allow us to do that.
I got a feeling it'd be hard to see on the windshield. I don't know.
I don't know. Ricky Bobby did pretty good with it. And that's prime sponsor space right there.
I talked about building a notebook too, and those guys up front are building a thick notebook. But back here in traffic, you're not nearly learning as much as the guys up front are. Learning about the guys you're racing around, learning how to push, how to take a push, how your car drafts, all this stuff. You're basically maintaining back here, so you're not learning quite as much as the guys up front. That can be a detriment at some point as well. We talked about riding in the back and saving your stuff. There's also some negatives to that as well because you don't get that experience of the guys that you'll be racing around.
Yeah, there is something said to being up front the whole race and being with guys that you're going to race the whole race with. But there's a lot of guys in the back that are teammates that are riding around together. So they may be just waiting to the end of the race, and as a team, they're going to go forward. So they'll know who they're racing if they're on the team. But you're right, if they don't, not racing somebody not on their team, it can make some surprising moves at the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm not going to be at all surprised when Elevated shows up towards the end, because they are all back there in the back riding around, saving their truck, making sure to stay out of trouble. And I'm sure they'll make a late race charge. And also through pit stops, we still have pit stops to go too, so there's no real rush for them. They know there's going to be a mix-up before the end of this race regardless.
Yeah, and normally we're trying to spread out what we're looking at as we're going around here in the broadcast, but right now on my screen, I got pretty much the entire field on my screen. They're all basically in one big, huge gap here. They're 2x2 back to, 23rd. So there's really not much happening in the back that's not happening in the front here.
Yeah, interesting. Robert Malikian almost cleared down the backstretch there and decided not to pull down. He wanted to stay in the top lane. Looks like he's comfortable in the top lane. And now looks like the 71's pushed the 43 out a little bit. They're going to fall back to the 88. We'll see if the 16 gets a big run down the back once again.
Well, the 36 is teammates with the 16. So I don't know if he wanted to leave his teammate.
True. Good point.
There's a lot. People say that there's not a lot that happens on these super speedios as you're driving around, but this is really a high speed game of chess. Sometimes people are playing checkers out there, but I like to say it's chess because there's a lot of strategy involved. Who you're running with, how you're running people, which lane you pick, what hole you go, which hole you don't go. There's a lot of things on your mind. When do you pit? How much fuel do you take? Do you not take tires? Who are you pitting with? So there's a lot of stuff going through drivers' minds as we're going around here at like 186, 195 miles an hour. And there goes the two teammates, the 71 and the 88, up the racetrack, leaving the 43.
You had to know it's a matter of time before that happened. They're going to pull back down and retake the lead on the bottom lane here. But they get that far out, and you could see these guys kind of pounce on them. But you were absolutely right about a game of chess. And what makes Talladega so frustrating for the drivers is you can do all that work, all that planning, all that preparation, get your setup down to a T, get your strategy just right, your pit strategy just right, and you're in position, you got your teammates with you, and one wrong push, one wrong move by somebody that had absolutely nothing to do with you can take you out of this race. That is so frustrating from a driver's standpoint.
Where did we see it earlier at Daytona where we had a team of 3 that was dominating the race? And then they came out and they had one bad push and sent one of them down through the infield, and then they were basically never heard of again for the rest of the race because they could never get back together again. So you're right.
Yeah, that was the Carolina boys, and it was this series, and it was at Daytona. So we've seen it before, and we'll probably see it again.
Yeah, one bad push ruined the entire race for all 3. I mean, I'm sure they finished, okay because they didn't wreck, but they were dominating. They were untouchable. There was 3 of them on the bottom, and one bad push, and that was it.
We head off into turn 1. The 71 leading the 88 on the inside row. 16. They had it again. The 16 cleared, but he didn't want to leave his teammates, so he didn't pull down. They're getting good pushes 17. On the outside.
Yeah, 71 got tight coming out of 2 there. Came up the racetrack a bit. And 43 has gone from leading this race to 3rd. Well, actually, probably 5th because of where he's going to come across the line.
3rd on the inside, yeah. You're right. 71 is up the track once again.
And that's where we tend to have some issues. When guys don't follow what the normal line is and somebody behind you stays in the normal line, could possibly come up, and I think that's kind of what happened with the 7 and the 19. Once you get misaligned like that, one truck may come up, one truck may come back, and that's where accidents may happen because you get guys crossing over each other. Here
goes another push from the 36 to the 16 down the backstretch. And you're right, with those guys moving up the track a little bit, it's in a different spot than what you're used to. So you have to kind of compensate for that. They're not riding around the bottom per se, and they come down to grab that side draft, and you're a little higher than usual. That can be an issue, but also the cars behind have to kind of adjust to where you're running, and if they're not aligned, that could be an issue as well.
Well, and so the 71 and the 88, I don't think are going to have an issue. But if the 88 continues to follow the 71 up the racetrack, the 43 may be like, well, you guys are leaving a hole. Yeah. I'm going in. And I've seen it happen. And I'm not picking on the 43. I'm not saying he's going to do that. But that's the kind of things that can happen if you go off of the normal, what guys consider the normal line here. Basically, the guy in front of you, following the guy in front of you.
You get a good push down the backstretch there, going into turn 3. The 16 trying to take that away from the 71. Ooh, you see right there, he's up the track again.
I don't know if he's tight or if he's just loose and he's just opening up the wheel to not be to get sideways there. Maybe he should leapfrog with the 88.
You don't hear much about handling here usually, but it definitely looks like he's got his hands full one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm just watching. Like I said, and we're just noticing the 71 and the 88 doing it, but I've seen some other guys. These trucks do move a ton, but you expect that more in the back of the pack than the front. But they do move. They can move a half a lane all by themselves, just like you're just driving along, and you're like, what just happened?
2x2, just like a pace lap down the backstretch. This guy's still 2x2. I guess 180 mile an hour pace lap, but. Yeah, up the track again. Interesting. Looks like they just can't hold the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if he's tight or if he could be just tight and it's pushing up, or it could be loose and he's opening up the wheel, trying not to get sideways. But he's definitely not running that bottom line like I would expect him to be.
Ooh, a little bit of a checkup right there because of it.
A little bit of separation on the outside now.
Right on board with the 77, Cameron Albertson, currently the third truck in line on the outside.
So we're going green so far. We're going to start thinking about some green flag pit stops. And we're maybe 9 laps away from being halfway through this particular stage. I would expect that somewhere within the next 7 to 11 laps, we're going to start to see some pit stops. If you can get ramped up with your team, 3 to 4 guys, pit all together, and then get out all together, right back to drafting, you guys can make up a bunch of time by short pitting here.
Look at these guys heading into 3. You're right. Got to be thinking pit strategy at this point. What is the strategy? What do you guys decide to do? You pit early? Do you pit late? Do you hope for a caution?
Well, I know our team always tries to pit as early as we can. And as together as we can. Sometimes we don't always make it together, but we do our best to do it. But a sure tell sign that that's going to happen is when that outside lane disappears.
I tell you whose brain's on fire probably right now is that 11 truck Tony Simone trying to figure out that pit strategy. What lap? Oh, you see a little mix up there at the front. But yeah, trying to figure out what lap to pit, what lap are we coming in, doing the math in his head, which, hey.
I'm sure he's got his. I'm sure it's ruffled his feathers all over the place, trying to do all that math that he's driving around at 190 miles an hour. But he is our fuel strategy. So he has called some good plate racing strategy before.
Yep. These guys in the bottom are all over the place. They are moving around a lot on the bottom. The front too.
I would expect they have the same setup in, so if it's squirrely, it's one, it should be squirrely for the other. But definitely fast setups from ESC there, as because Jeff Chandler's got one of them in there too, and he's 3 cars behind them.
Here comes a push.
I tell you,
that's 16.
Yep. They're hanging up there. I was just about to say they're hanging out there on the outside there with Elevated Esports.
Yeah, that bottom front two they don't seem to be able to hook that bottom like you would normally would here at Talladega.
And right now we got every single truck still running in this pack. So every single truck is in the pack from the start to the finish, and I think there's only about 2, maybe 3 seconds for the entire field as we're going across here. So pit stop should be, if we make it to pit stops, green flag pit stops here, it's going to be interesting with all these trucks so close that you got to call it out. Got to make sure that people know that you're going down the pit road here, and if you're pitting with friends, that you all make it together. So it could be interesting.
It really could. It could be breathtaking for some guys coming to pit road. We'll start to see if anybody ducks off this time by. We got one, two, a few of them.
Yeah, about 5 of them coming down. Michael Deach in the 70 was the first one.
Oh, and he spins coming to pit road. He hangs on to it, but it's going to cost him a lot of time.
That's exactly what you don't want to do here. Yeah, you do not want to make a mistake on a green flag pit stop. But somehow Dave Nestor got separated from the 16 while that was going on. The 52 got separated from the group, and I'm not sure what happened there. 7188 to 43, still on the bottom.
16 was pushed clear on the bottom lane. He's going to take it, pull down in front of the 71, right on the front bumper. But he's going to take the lead of that inside lane from the 76.
Oh, we got 3, 4, 5, 6 more trucks. A lot of tire smoke coming to pit road.
Oh, he smoked them.
Smoke them if you got them. The pack is getting smaller.
Cameron Alberson's going to take the lead while all that happened as guys are on pit road.
I wasn't too far off. I said 40. I was thinking 48 when they started the pit, but not too bad.
We'll see when these guys decide to pit up front here. Maybe they come this time by. It's 76 of Albertson out front. Maliki and Meglin, Atkins, and Dave Nestor are your top 5 right now. Although Nestor trapped on the outside lane. A few more. 3 more. Nicholas Moreau. Who's loose right there in front of him? He hangs on to it. Is that Moreau?
Well, Moreau was the first one that went in with Jeff Chandler behind him, so.
Yeah, Moreau on pit road. And smacked the wall there coming in, locked him up.
Oh. This is what happens when you're at a plate track. People don't practice pitting at speed, and you come in too hot, and you're ruining your entire race because you lose a second on pit road, and that's half the backstretch. And it happens quickly. It's just so quickly. So
a lot to lose. A lot to gain, but a lot to lose on pit road for sure. As they come around once again, let's see who ducks on the pit road this time by. No takers this time by. The pack decides to stay out.
And now it becomes on how quickly, when you pit with a group of guys, how quickly you guys get back together and drafting. If you guys take a whole lap to get back together to drafting, you can lose 2 seconds to a group of guys that did get together to drafting, and they'll just leapfrog you. So it's very important to get back with the guys that you pit and draft as quickly as possible.
So this is the lead group. We're going to go to the leader of the last group, and here's the other group in turn 3 and 4 right now.
Yeah, they're almost all together again, but just a lap behind each other.
See if they decide to pit this time. Looks like some are coming. Lewis Meglin coming. The elevated guys are coming.
We got Tony Solari, GHR guys. Looks like they all made it.
Ooh, Brandon Elder Slid through his box and into the wall there. That's going to cost us some time and some damage.
All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 guys. 9, 10, 11. We got 11 guys that have not pitted yet. Let's see if they come to pit road anytime soon. The 90 of Joseph Burgess is on the outside, so I don't know if he's coming in. Yep, he's back down again.
Here they come through 3 and 4. We'll see who ducks down the pit road this time by.
76.
Slowly and surely, we're getting them all. And it looks like all of them are going to be coming this time. Almost all of them. Looks like one guy.
All but one.
Joseph Burgess decides to stay out. Everybody else comes to pit road. Pretty orderly this time by.
That was probably the best of the bunch. And they had the most, strangely enough. All right, this is where it gets. Did the undercut work?
This is where the donuts are made. Yep.
Yep. Because the other pack is coming into 3 right now, going through 3 and 4, as the other ones are getting service on pit road here. So we'll see where they are. I think that the undercut is not only going to work. I think the undercut is very strong at this point. I think they're going to be leading by a mile.
Here they come to the line now, and they're right there. So you're right. They're going to be way out front.
90 still has not pitted.
It's what we call a Hail Mary. Hoping for that caution. As a matter of fact, that pack that just came out is going to come out with the other pack back there. So if they can run this front pack down, we'll have to work together to try to get there.
Yeah, that front pack is that's a mess coming down backstretch right now. Actually, I'm a little behind. But, yeah, so the one pack that just pitted is going to fall in, I think, amidst the other pack. And you're right, if they can get single file, they'll catch the front pack, but not if they're running 2x2. And the 90 is pitting now.
All right, so the 90 does come pit. Let's get the lead back over to the 71 of Brendan Polk, leading that front pack.
So I'd like to mention your pick, Kyle Milliken, is 4th. And the 24, who went a lap down because of a pit pass-through, is 5th. So anything can happen on these races.
Absolutely.
So we got a 1, 2, 3, 4,
and
5,
actually,
6, 7, 8, and 9 cars.
To be fair, the 42 of Milliken, he was sideways in one of those wrecks, was he? He was the one sideways on the
he was on the apron. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, anything could possibly happen. So you got Brendan Polk, James Morris, Ryan Lark, Kyle Milliken, William Lark, Michael Blackner, Aaron Satcher, Jeff Chandler, and was that Noah Nicholson?
Yep. Noah Nicholson and Alan Duranko around the top 10, yeah.
And they're all right there in that pack. But the other pack is, I think, going to come. It's going to be there soon.
Yeah, they're all going to be together. They got the draft, so they're going to be there. So everybody's going to come back together once again. Now, what are they going to do when they catch them? That's the next question.
Well, so it didn't jumble up the race as much as I thought it was going to, because we've seen it jumble up the race pretty bad.
Yeah.
But it has certainly jumbled up the running order. So yes, the 7188 are still leading. But now you got new players all the way through the field now, so we'll see what happens. And they got 22 laps to figure it out.
And again, you say 22 laps, and at some tracks you're like, oh, it's almost over. Yeah, not quite here. 22 laps is longer than the first stage was.
Yeah, yes it was. So now we got an elevated esports train on the outside with Alan Duranko, Robert Malikian, Ryan Chapman, and Chris Gore. I'm curious to see if Kyle pops up in front of them when they get to him.
Well, we got a guy, somebody's
3
making
wide
it through the middle there.
That is the 81 of Jared Ferreira. The 67 of Deshaun Gorham right behind him. They're making their way. They're making forward. Just hopefully we can keep that 3-wide going. And there goes Kyle.
Kyle jumps to the top. He's going to lead that elevated train up front. Try to get that side draft when he pulls out. That's going to put the 24 on the back bumper of the 00 as well. Those Carolina boys teammates are now together as well. So a lot of teamwork now. And man, is it getting messy here for about mid-pack, about 6th on back.
Oh, I thought they was going to push it in there underneath the 2. But yeah, so now Kyle kind of messed up the line a little bit there, but I think everybody's made it through. And now we're going to have elevated outside of elevated.
Still getting tight. It's close.
Ooh, check up City going down the backstretch. 23's in the back of the 70.
Oh, there we go. We got trucks in the wall in the backstretch there. Looks like everybody keeps going and we stay green.
Looks like they might be the only 2 trucks that were involved there. So going back to Kyle's move there. Yes, he wanted to get with his... Yeah, he wanted to get up with his teammate, but now his teammates had bypassed him. But that also put the 2 Carolina boys together. So sometimes doing an offensive move like that puts 2 other teammates together that you weren't thinking that were going to be teammates. So it definitely makes... You got to think about moves. That's what I was saying, chess.
And right now we're playing 3D chess, 3 wide. As they go down the backstretch, 3 wide for about 3rd on back. You got Maliki on the outside, Milliken in the middle. Good luck saying that. And you got the Larks on the inside. Now here comes the inside lane, starting to make some moves.
So now we got a new 3rd place guy who's not been running behind the 88 and the 71, but they're weaving back and forth. And now does the 00 of Ryan Lark see a hole and go for it where the 43 was not earlier on?
Well, they're pushing pretty hard pretty early here. I don't know if they can keep this up for another 18 laps. We will see, though.
If they get 3 wide to all 3 lines at the front here, the 71's going to need to keep down more than he is. Doesn't want to pinch anybody up there. Here we go.
Yeah, he's still not holding that on the bottom there.
Somebody want to send out the memo that there's still 18 laps to go here?
This is crazy. They're 3 wide now for the lead as they get up towards the front here.
They're 3 wide, not for the lead, but all the way back to 20th. It's like a mini Indy going on here. And I'll tell you, the biggest mover here was the 81 of Jarrett Ferreira, who started with 3 wide and made his way all the way up as Kyle moves up to the 3rd lane to go in front of his teammates there. Here comes the 81. I was a little skeptical, but he's made his way to the front here.
Yeah, 81 looks strong. He really is strong. He's getting a good push down the middle. Getting a good push down the front stretch here. He's going to try to lead this lap. Is he going to lead it? He may just do that. Yep, 81 to the front.
And here comes the outside lane with a good run. 71 stayed down that time. 67 is going to have a good push down the backstretch on the 81.
Yeah, 16
Does the 81
laps.
come down?
All right, there he goes. He goes down. He pulls down in front of the 71. He's going to take the lead on that inside lane. And all that checkup is going to allow the 42 of Milliken to take the lead. Well, I thought so on the outside. But
he blinked out, and it checked up the whole outside lane. How did the guys that blink always end up in the front of the lines? So that's my pick pushing your pick on the outside.
I think we made some pretty good picks. We'll see what happens, though. Still a long way to go. 15 laps to go. And we are still 3 wide here at Talladega.
We are. Now the 71 is getting a good push down to the 81. It was pretty decent, but now the 67 is getting a good push by the 43.
Oh!
Oh, pushing
Ferrero around. Takes the 71 with him.
No caution yet. 71 is up the racetrack. That's got to be a caution.
And there's the caution. A push gone wrong, it looks like. Got him sideways, and finally it didn't work out there. I'm surprised it was only a 2-car accident with the racing we saw there, but at the front 2 on the inside lane take each other out.
Especially being that they're on the inside lane. Fortunately, they went down.
Let's go back and look and see what happened here. Our Best One Tire and Auto Care instant replay. That's already happened, so let's go back.
I think we might have a case.
See the 71 pushing. He pushes on that right rear quarter panel. That's what I was talking about. Turns the truck up the track and he corrects back down. And the 71's right there. It goes along.
Yeah, but if you go back, it's the case of the pusher pushing the pusher, pushing the pusher, pushing the lead.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So it actually looks like the 81 and the 71 slow up out of that corner. The 88 gets in the back of the 71 as the 000 gets in the back of the 88, who's already in the back of the 71. So I don't know if we could push that all onto the 71 in a bad push there. But yeah, being on the right rear quarter panel like that is never the right place to push no matter what's going on.
It was still early. We still have so many laps to go. It's not time to go yet. And looks like patience kind of ran out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the 71 and the 81 got disconnected. It slowed up that train, and it just, I don't know if that was not patience. I think that they were doing their thing and just oopsed.
Well, we got a mixed strategy here. We got some guys on pit road, about half of them on pit road, and half of them stayed out. So we're going to have a split strategy here. A lot of your leaders pitted, though, here at this point, and some of the guys stayed out.
What are you thinking there? I mean, tires is almost a nothing here.
Maneuverability is something. I don't know if it's really worth giving track position up. I don't know if these guys expected more, maybe more to pit, but several of them stayed out.
So we got Ryan Chapman, the first one off pit road. Nope. Yeah. Actually, Joseph Burgess would be the first one off pit road, followed by Ryan Chapman, and they're going to fall in, I think, 14th and 15th.
Yes.
So that's quite a lot of track position.
Things might just be about to heat up, though.
Could it get any more spicy? I mean, come on. They were 3 wide with 19 laps to go.
And I got to say, too, they were doing a great job maintaining their lanes, holding their line, not pushing too hard, and being able to put that show on 3 wide. So, very, very good job for them. And honestly, that's not what caused the issue. The issue was just a push into a push into a push into a push. I don't know how far I need to go, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and again, I don't even think that was anybody's specific fault. It's just, like I said, the leader and the second place got broken up a little bit, and I think there's a little bit of a checkup there. And, you're 2 or 3 trucks back. You can't see what's going on, so everybody's pushing towards the end. But, so far, even to 3 wide, very entertaining.
Entertaining indeed.
And like I said, the 81 was doing such a great job. I was a little... I said it before, I was a little suspect on him going 3 wide, but it all worked out. He did a great job, made his way all the way to the lead, and then unfortunately with the push going wrong there, it's all ended. But the other guy that helped him to the front is now leading, which would be the 67 of Deshaun Gorham.
Yeah, we hadn't caught his name tonight, so
yeah, he's on the lead here. We got Lewis Megan leading the outside lane, Kyle Milliken. The 06 of Mason Hoffner, we haven't called his name. So he's up into 4th with Malikian 5th. And Cameron Albertson in 76 is, I think I'm one off. Somehow I'm one off.
I flipped him. That's fine. Albertson and Malinky in row 3. There you go.
There you go.
Solve that problem.
That works. So you got Brian Messer in a 13. He's had a pretty solid night, been in the top 10, 15 all night long. And Jeff Chandler has made his way to the front with Dave Nestor and Ryan Huntley right there as well. So Kyle started 37th tonight, and Mason started 33rd. So got some movers here.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Looks like Kyle maybe didn't take a lap in qualifying. He usually starts up front, but decided to start towards the back tonight, and has made it entertaining. I'm sure he's been entertained driving through the field.
Are you not entertained?
We'll see what our biggest mover or biggest loser. I shouldn't say it that way.
Oh,
but,
yeah, I was about to say that's.
That's going to be, of course.
It'll be Brendan.
Yeah.
See, now you're just rubbing salt into it.
Nicholas Moreau, a lap down after that pit issue. I guess he ended up getting a speeding penalty from that. He is a lap down. Is he only one lap down? Yeah, only one lap down, or at least one lap down.
I'm not showing him a lap down yet, but okay, I believe you.
Actually, I don't see him on track. So.
Oh, he's 16 laps down. He's actually 16 laps down. So I think he
parked it.
Yeah, parked it. So got the pace car off. We're about to go 12 laps here, 11 laps. Here we go.
Yeah, 11 lap shootout to the end here for the victory, or Full Throttle Sim Racing Points Truck Series here on Full Throttle Television. We'll get it right one time. They're going to come to the restart zone here. Deshaun Gorham leading them down. Lewis Meglin on the outside. Green flag is out, and we are racing again.
Got a big separation on the bottom, and actually a big separation between first and second on the top too. So hopefully we don't have some large checkups going down the back stretches. Every accordion's back together again.
Definitely could happen as everybody pulls back up. The outside lane is starting to get a little more organized than the inside, see if they get pushed down the back stretch.
They're gonna probably top 2 might clear as the 43 moves down.
There you go.
Well, the 67 had the lead.
Hoffner trying to clear on the outside, can't do it. 43, and
here
comes 3 wide.
3 wide between the 88, the 90, and the 36 there. See if anybody hops up in front of James Morris. James Morris is the last man standing with the top 2 that were up front all night long. Ten to go.
10 laps to go here, Talladega. They come across the line. They are 3 wide for about 8th on back.
Some wall scraping going on back there with William Lark. Jeff going to jump up there with his pseudo teammate, and he is put Jeff Chandler on the lead of the outside lane, the outside lane.
All right, Chandler out front getting that push. You got Mason Hoffner in the middle, the 43 of Lewis Meglin leading the inside lane.
3 wide. Here we go again. Coming to 9 to go. Jeff Chandler, Mason Hoffner, and Lewis Meglin leading the respective lines there.
Keep it in line, boys.
So far, so good. I think Jeff Chandler led that lap. That would be his first lap led tonight.
That's true. They got that outside rolling. The push from William Lark and Ryan Lark out front on the top.
James Morris is in there. Michael Blackner has joined him on the outside as well. And Ryan Chapman is in the outside, and the tail end of the outside lane there. A little bit of a checkup.
Still 3 wide for the lead. Same 3 out front.
Those checkups are they're lane killers. But guys need to stay their lane. When you're in their lane, can't go too far up, can't go too far down. We got to pay attention here. This is. I'm glad I'm up here. I'll tell you, this is one of those races. I'm glad I'm up here.
Nerve-wracking as you see the 42 get a little, or 43 get a little out of shape on the bottom there. It's going to allow.
I thought we were about to go 4 wide. I thought we were about to go 4 wide as the 06 got wide coming out of the corner. I thought the 76 might dive in underneath him there, but he didn't. He stayed behind him. It's still anybody's race at this particular point because anything can happen.
I've turned into a spectator watching this.
Yeah, I mean, right now everybody's doing a great job. They're staying in their lanes, but somebody like Michael Blackner back there has got nowhere to go. You get a little frustrated. You're like, come on, let's go. We gotta go. But there's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go for those guys back there. You're pretty much at the mercy of the lane moving that you're in at this point if you're in line.
Yep.
That's really all you can do. Anything other than that is a death sentence. If you try to pull out and make it 4 wide and somebody doesn't expect it, you end up in a heap of sheet metal.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say 4 wide is not the move to make. The outside lane has lost a little momentum there, as I think Jeff got a little tight and had to lift.
They did. That allowed Mason Hoffner in that middle lane to kind of surge ahead. He kind of took the lead here, but here comes the 43 to retake that as they enter turn 3.
We are coming to 6 laps to go, and I know the outside lane is going, Jeff, no, come on, we got to go. And there goes GHR to the outside, and the 76 is leaving the 06.
All right, here comes the 76. This Cameron Albertson to the outside of Mason Hoffner, putting Mason in the sucker hole. That outside lane trying to move here. The 76 trying to lead that outside lane with the 67 with Sean Gorham with him. He makes a sudden move to the inside.
Brings the 06 back up again. Now we have Ryan Huntley and Brandon Elder, 2 teammates up on the outside, leading the outside lane there. That was a switcheroo. Actually, a pretty good move by the 76.
Yep, 76.
I say there's nowhere to go. He says, hold my beer, and shows you how he can take the outside middle lane lead here.
And here comes somebody.
That's the 4.
Who's that jumping up to the top?
Ooh, the 4, which was another GHR guy, and now the 81 of Ferreira is back after being the push gone wrong there in the backstretch. He's all the way back up to the second on the outside.
So I'm going to say it now, and I hope these guys go back and watch this. The test of mettle of a driver is not doing this 3 wide, but it's finishing it without a wreck, finishing it without a caution, and finishing it with a complete race car. That makes the driver. Not the fact that you can do this, but the fact that you are willing to settle to bring it home at the end of the race with a complete car and be able to hold your head high and know that you finished this race on the green.
I'm not sure what Stefan was doing there as he dove to the bottom, all the way down to the bottom line, and then came back up to the middle. That checked up the middle lane and the outside lane.
There's a lot of lane switching going on right now. It's causing a lot of chaos in the mid-pack here. We'll see if these guys can soak that up and keep that from creating a checkup and a wreck here. So far, so good as we come to 4 laps to go.
I want to see him do this all the way to the checkered flag. I want to see him cross the line like this. This is great racing going on right here. But you're right. There's some definite lane changing going on up front as the 4 goes back up to the top, and it's going to make a checkup up top.
Jonathan Atkins moves to the top and now moves back down to the middle. Unsure of where to go here. And now that's going to put him in the middle, 3 wide, with Deshaun Gorham on the outside.
Yeah, that's usually the kiss of death when you start changing lanes like that, the front of the pack, because it starts making checkups.
Now the 43 retakes the lead on the inside. Lewis Macklin been up there all night, and
he has.
Just watching this, trying to sort through who's where. You got Atkins in the yellow number 4, Macklin on the bottom, that petty blue 43. You got Deshaun Gorham. I believe he is the outside leader here.
No, he's the 67. He's right behind Meglin.
Okay. Oh, you see the 4 slide up the track. Oh, my goodness. And now they're 4 wide, and now they're turned.
And there we
go. And here is going to be the wreck that I was talking about. Big one in turn 4.
I told you moving lanes like that is a kiss of death.
Lane changes will always cause issues. Caution is out.
Everybody thinks they're Joey Logano. And that's that. You can go back and replay it, but I don't need to see it again. It's a mess. That is not the way this race deserved to end.
Oh, don't worry. We'll get a chance to do it again. We'll get a green white checkered. But let's go back and see what happened here on the Best One Tire and Auto Care Instant Replay. Just let's back it up because the 4 slides up the track going into turn 3. The black truck doesn't expect it, checks up almost in the back of him, probably in the back of him. He gets him loose and he ends up on the inside of the 4. And then it's just a matter of time. He's hooked on the 4 and everybody just goes crashing off of turn 4.
It's that moving the front of lines that's the kiss of death every time. And I don't understand why guys still try to do it. It never works out. All it does is cause big, huge wrecks. Hopefully he's okay, because I just said he was in the catch fence.
There actually was contact. He wasn't clearly moved up there. And eventually Hoffner just turns him. And you're right. He goes for a ride. 81 involved. Several cars involved.
A lot of good cars are involved, but you know who's still up front? 43, Lewis Meglin. He made it through that. You know who else made it through that? Old Spicy Solari showing up at the end of one of these races. He's up to 7th. Dave Nestor, 6th. Wayne Grassi, after an early incident, is in the top 10. But definitely tore up a bunch of trucks.
Right on board the 7 of Grassi. He was right there in the middle lane here, coming through 3 and 4. Sees the smoke. A lot of tore up trucks. Wow. Well, we'll see if we're... There's the 99 of J.P. Burns well back from this wreck. You see, he sees a truck flipping up there and decides to go way to the bottom, get away from all of it. It still almost gets collected with the 70 truck sliding down the track.
Yeah, when you get to a wreck like that, you're just praying and hoping, and because you never know. I mean, I've gone through. You see smoke. You're like, all right, they're going to go down the racetrack. You go up, and then there's like 1 or 2 guys that get spun up the racetrack. Or you go the opposite. You're like, oh, they're all going up the racetrack. Let me go down. And, you know, there's 2 or 3 guys that get spun down the racetrack.
Well, you know, you talk about that. That definitely was a unnecessary wreck that didn't need to happen at this point. I know they're going for their win, but at some point you have to kind of concede that, you know, if I keep doing this, it's going to be an accident. Well, it happened a lap before, and then the lap after it finally did cause the accident. So hopefully that'll be a lesson learned there.
Well, you know, we teach one lesson to one of these guys, and then we come back and we get, you know, somebody else that needs to have the lesson. And unfortunately, a lot of trucks get wrecked off that. It was a great race we had going on. I really wanted to see it end the way it was going. Everybody had a great 3-wide strategy going on.
Let's re-rack them, see who we got up front here. We got Lewis Meglin still out front, Deshaun Gorham, Kyle Milliken in 3rd, Cameron Albertson 4th, Robert Malikian in 5th. You got Dave Nestor up there in 6th, Brendan Polt rebounding to 7th right now. Tony Solari in 8th. You got Wayne Grassi in 9th, and 10th spot right now, Wyatt Huntley. So that's kind of your top 10 right now. And don't look now, but you got a couple of elevated guys back there behind them that I'm sure will be hungry and looking for that 3rd lane up there once we get going.
Yeah, so now I'm looking at say I see Brendan Polt is back up in the top 10, but I'm looking at his truck and it looks about a foot short and a little skewed, so I'm not sure how up to pace he's going to be. So that may play into some stuff here, is whether or not a truck is hurt and can get up to speed. It may separate the top 5 or 6 guys and make a pack out of this. So we'll see how it goes with the damaged trucks now. You think Lewis Meglin is sweating bullets up there?
I would be, and I would be very nervous because I've run this whole race towards the front. I mean, he's led so many laps tonight. He's been up front the whole race, and then it comes down to this, and you're just hoping and praying to have at this point, probably just hoping and praying to have a solid finish. He's had such bad luck at some of the end of these races too. This is one of those tracks where where it usually bites you. If he can turn it around here, he's definitely got something going on there. But he definitely deserves to finish well tonight. He's run well all night tonight. We'll see if he can pull this one off.
Yep, love to see him pull it off, and pace car's off. Here we go for a green-white checkered.
All right, so you got Lewis Magdalene leading, Deshaun Gorham on the front row, Albertson, Milliken, your second row, Nestor and Malikian. Row 3 as they come to the Geico restart zone, waiting for the 43. I think the 43 is leading, is he not?
He is, yes.
All right, well, we got a car in front of him for some reason. Green flag is out, and that will most definitely probably be a black flag for the 67.
Because, he was in front of him at the time of the green flag. I don't know if the restart zone does that or not. But we'll see. I mean, you got to be behind the lead car here. As Kyle in the 42 is pushing the 43, and we got the 76 pushing the 67 down the backstretch here. Here we go. Is that Tony Solari and the 21 have started the third groove here.
See if anybody jumps up in front of him. Looks like Solari's going to try to make that third lane work on the outside of Dave Nestor. They are 3 wide back here. We're going to come to the white flag. Are they going to make it to the white flag? Looks like we may. So third lane is starting to fall back. The 76 getting a push.
All right, step 1 done. We made it to the white flag. Now make it back to the checkered, guys. That's what I want to see.
33 and Malikian leading the
Oh, Ryan Chapman putting him. Dave Nestor 3 wide coming down the back for 1 and 2.
We got a wreck.
There's a wreck in the back.
Wrecking back there. We're going to stay green there because the white flag is out. We'll see what this front trio can do. We do have a run on the outside. Here comes Milliken trying to pull up to block the middle lane. Just barely makes that happen. He's going to pull to the outside, try to get that push from the 76.
Yeah, the 67 got pushed out. Milliken moved up to the outside lane. Now, Milliken outside lane. Ryan Chapman. Oh, we get turned.
Wreck on the front stretch, and they're still wrecking. Who's going to make it to the line here? Who's on the outside there? Coming to the line, it's going to be Deshaun Gorham taking the win.
Wow.
Indeed. Wow. Deshaun Gorham with the win. Wayne Grassi second. Cameron Albertson finishing up third. Everybody else in a pile of sheet metal.
And Lewis Meglin ended up on his side.
Yes.
Ryan Chapman is flipping over at the start-finish line. Yeah, it all starts with the 76 and 42.
Well, we'll go back and look at that, but we want to look at our finishing order first. As a matter of fact, depending on how that works out on this restart, you might see a different winner.
Oh, that's true.
A lot to sort through here, but unofficially, the 67 Deshaun Gorham wins tonight's race.
Wow. Not one car with 0 incidents.
I'm going back to see if we can find those wrecks that happened on the last lap.
It's just melee. It's just mayhem.
Just one tire and auto care instant replay. Kyle Milliken coming down the straightaway. The 76 tries to make it 3 wide. The 43 comes down. Takes the 43 with him through the grass. And back up on track and collecting more cars.
I got breaking news out of race control. Wayne Grassi has been promoted to P1. as the 67 of
76.
Deshaun Gorham.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, 67 of Deshaun Gorham has been promoted back down to the last car on the lead lap in 27th position. So iRacing has already taken care of it for us, and Wayne Grassi, tonight's winner.
All right. Let's go back and see if I can get a better shot of this going on here. Coming off turn 4, the 42 in front of... He just moves up the track a little bit, opens the door, and then it's just, yeah.
Just on like Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong doesn't come in and hit a whole bunch of trucks.
And then they wrecked some more right there at the start-finish line.
Yeah, that was other guys looked like they were coming down and moving and not clear, and I hate to see it. I hate to see it. So I'm curious, because that's the kind of guy I am. Our leader, I'm sorry, not leader, our winner was in 8th position coming across the line on a white flag. And by 8th position, he was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th one on the bottom lane. So that was our winner.
Trying to look here. Let's see if we can see what happened. There's so many replays. I mean, I know everybody out there is probably wanting to see what happened. It gets tight there. Ooh, 10 on his roof.
Yeah, a bunch of trucks upside down tonight.
What a mess.
Not clear.
There's a lot of that too, yeah. I don't know. Let's see. The Tim probably doesn't know this is even happening to him. Right on board with Ryan Chapman. Turns sideways, up in the air. Oh! That's like Ricky Bowe. He's grinding on the safety barrier and then slides across the... I mean, it's crazy. He slides across the track backwards, across the finish line backwards. So, well, anyway, tonight's winner, Wayne Grassi. We'll talk to him after the race, along with Cameron Albertson and Brendan Polt, your top 3 finishers here. We'll talk to them after the race once we do a quick commercial break. So we're going to do that. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are Best One.
The best tires.
The best customer service.
The best automotive service.
The best team.
And the best customers. You see, Best One isn't just our name, it's who we are. Since 1948, Best One has been delivering quality and dependable tires and full-service automotive care to our customers. Best One, selling tires, serving people. We are Best One.
Back here at Talladega Speedway, Super Speedway, the Talladega 200 in the books for the Sim Racing Points Truck Series. And man, what a wild and crazy finish it was. We're going to go through our race results at the end right quick. We did not get a chance to do that.
That's because we needed a break. We were so out of breath. We needed a break before we went through the rundown.
Absolutely. Well, of course, the results actually are showing correct on the screen here, so that's good. Wayne Grossi, after the restart penalty, is going to pick up the win here tonight. Cameron Albertson in second. You got Brendan Polt there in third. Michael Blachter comes home P4. Good run for him. Noah Nicholson in fifth. Tony Solari finishes in sixth. Seventh is going to be William Lark. Eighth, J.P. Burns. Ninth, Nim Silva. And finishing in your 10th position is going to be Richard Myers.
Wyatt Hunley comes home 11th in a 21. Ryan Lark 12th. Jeff Chandler 13th. Aaron Satcher comes home 14th. James Morris comes home 15th. Dave Nestor 16th. Brandon Elder 17th. Ryan Chapman comes home upside down for an 18th place finish. 13 of Brian Messer comes home 19th. And Jonathan Adkins comes home 20th.
21st is going to be Brian Messer. Actually, yeah, my rundown is going to be all wrong because we've got another driver in there.
All right, we got Kyle Milken in 21st, Mason Hefner in 22nd, Chris Gore 23rd, Lewis Meglin comes home 24th, Alan Duranko 25th, Shad Curran comes home 26th. Deshaun Gorham has been relegated back to 27th, the last person on the lead lap for that restart violation. The first car one lap down was Robert Malikian. Gregory Valade, 23rd, Joseph Burgess 23rd. He's in the 23rd, and he's 9th. Joseph Burgess is 30th. Jason Ferreira, 31st. Michael Deitch, 32nd. Nicholas Moreau, 33rd. Grant Robichaux, 34th. And that's your last truck.
Yeah, that's going to be it. So what a wild and crazy finish to a relatively calm race until we got to the end there. And
well, I don't know if calm was the word.
Well, I guess
exciting.
Yeah, you're right. With the 3 wide, it was exciting for sure. We're gonna kick it over to our best one. Our I got my sponsors messed up tonight. Our Victory Fuel Cup Series. Victory Fuel. You want to do this?
Yeah,
you want to do this one?
No, we're gonna kick it over to the Victory Fuel Victory Lane in our Sim Racing Points Truck Series.
Our Victory Fuel post race show here, sponsored by Victory Fuel. We're going to talk to our top 3 finishers, starting with third place, Brendan Polt. Third place for Brendan Polt. Brendan, congratulations on a third place finish. I'm sure it's probably not what you wanted there after running up front, but a good rebound after that incident on the backstretch to able to get back up to third.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how that exactly happened. I'm still looking at the replay between me and Jarrett, so I won't take any kind of side on that yet till I take a bit more deep dive. But afterwards, I had I think I had 3-4 minutes of damage. Got out of pit road with staying on the lead lap with 3 minutes left, and the truck didn't lose any pace. The engine was fine. Aerodynamically, it was a bit. It didn't have the same suck up as it did with damage free. But I mean, I was able to drive from 30th to 14th before the big one there, about just before the green white checkered chaos. So yeah, I don't know how we managed to get the 71 into a P3, but I'll take it for the points, especially after getting, I believe, a P2 in the stage. So overall, a good points day.
Yeah, you guys were working good. You and your teammate there working really good early on, able to get a good points finish out of it, even after some calamity and chaos happens there. But yeah, I guess talk about working with your teammate there in the line. You know, the 43 was up there a good bit. You were pushing him, and then you ducked out with the 88 behind you. And it looked like that your truck was having some issues holding the bottom lane. You kind of explain what you were dealing with out there.
Okay, so that was kind of intentional. Since Morris, my teammate, was behind me, he wanted to keep pushing me, but I wanted to keep his engine cool. So I gave him half a bottom lane so he can get half the grill and get clean air into his motor while I'm still hanging on a little bit. Sure, it did open up the side drafts from the mid lane, but we had a fast enough truck that as long as Morris bumped me right off exit, they couldn't really get around us, and the 16 didn't get around us until the lap we decided to pit. So that was an intentional move. The truck could hold the bottom if I wanted to, but that was just a strategy call of leading the race and making sure my teammate's motor didn't blow up on us.
All right. Well, again, congratulations on third place. Going to throw it to you with your, with the floor open. The mic's yours.
Yeah, again, Twisted Speed Shop. They definitely had a lot of help building this Dega set, even though it's not on the official schedule. ESC also W Energy Drinks. My dad, who is again asleep because that's just how he is. And Turn One Designs, James Morris. Thank them all again for this Talladega P3. Wish it would have gotten better for my teammate, but I mean, it's Dega. What can he ask for?
Absolutely. Well, good third place finish for the 71 of Brennan Polt, who comes home P3. Richie, I think you're standing by with second place, Cameron Albertson.
Yeah, Cameron, welcome to the podium here. First time I'm getting to talk to you. You were great race. You were up front pretty much the whole race. I mean, tell us about your race. How did you stay up front all the whole race?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I mean, qualified semi well. Seas just kind of parted for me for stage 1, and my car started randomly getting loose on the entry of the corners, and that got really stressful, especially like when I was riding in that middle lane. There were probably multiple moments where my race should have ended but didn't, and I'm happy I made it out.
Well, yeah, anytime you're at Talladega, it's stressful to begin with, but if you're dealing with a loose truck going in, with trucks behind you pushing, and then we went 3 wide with like 19 laps to go, and you guys are doing a fantastic job running 3 wide there, but did a great job keeping up front. I'm not sure. Did you have any teammates that were up there with you, or were you up there by yourself?
Yep, I'm a team owner. I own Lucky 7, so I own the 76 and the 77 charters. Noah Nicholson got 5th, which is a really strong run for him and our team. We've been struggling a bit lately, I will admit, but this is a huge, huge step forward.
Absolutely. I mean, Talladega is one of those tracks that can definitely give you a boost in the arm when you need it, and definitely a fantastic run. Great job keeping up front the whole time, and we're going to open up the floor for any shout-outs you got to give to any of your sponsors or anybody watching.
Yeah, I want to shout out Mackenzie 3D Printing. I want to thank my friends and my family for always supporting me and this silly little hobby that I have. Hopefully it evolves into more of a hobby someday. But I'm just glad my luck finally came into play today.
Well, sometimes you need a little luck on your side, and you definitely had the Lucky Charms with you, Lucky 7. But congratulations on your second place podium finish.
Thank you.
Brody, I think did you catch up to Wayne? Because I'm not sure Wayne knew he won the race. Did you catch up with him?
We had to put out some signs looking for the 7. We finally got him to victory lane. Wayne, congratulations on the win tonight, man. What a chaotic finish to an otherwise pretty, I'd say, tame, well, until about 20 to go. Kind of a tame race.
Docile.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's docile. But to be honest with you, it doesn't matter, man. Victory lane, congratulations.
How about that?
It was a very exciting and entertaining race up front. And to be honest with you, just to be fair, I don't think we called your name maybe once or twice throughout the race, and you showed up at the end, able to kind of get through the carnage there off turn 4, and luck finally shined on you. You were able to miss it, get through there first, and claim the checkered flag.
Yeah, I it's understatement of the year. That was just so much luck right there.
Yeah. Well, I went back and looked because I had to verify, and you crossed the white flag in 8th position. So, nice
I started in 9th there, with the green-white checkered. But I just before the stage, I got in a wreck, and when a lap down, the car had pretty heavy damage. And I didn't think I had a shot in hell of even getting back on the lead lap, but just by luck, I did get back on the lead lap, and everything just worked out from there.
That's a testament to never give up, never concede. I always say that you never want to give up until it's completely out of chance, out of a chance of working out. You never want to quit until it's over. So. Again, man, congratulations. You got that win. Finally got yourself locked into the playoffs there. Got that monkey off your back. Yeah, Tony, I did say that right. And and so again, I guess I want to throw it to you. Say congratulations once again. Let you do your shout outs and your sponsor plugs.
Alrighty. Well, thanks to Sim Racing Points. Thanks to the league for being patient with me. And I know I make mistakes and I'm trying to do better. But anyway, thank you. And that's about it.
Well, we didn't see any mistakes tonight.
Well, wait.
What?
Hold on. I got a question. So Wayne, I've known Wayne now for a couple of years, and I've never actually asked him this question. Why are you always in a Shell Pennzoil car?
Good question. My father owned a Shell station when I was a boy. And I used to pump gas when I was like 10 years old. And in memory of my dad, I'll always be in the Shell car.
Now you had to
That's
have
awesome.
a tip to ask that, Richie. Did you not? 'Cause
I did not.
What an awesome!
I did not.
What an awesome stat.
No, I asked him because he thanked the lead. He thanked us, but he didn't thank Shell Pennzoil. And I'm wondering why. You got the Shell. He's always in the Shell Pennzoil car, and I was just wondering why. Why that was. But that's awesome, Wayne. I that's awesome. That's an awesome
Absolutely.
thing.
I want to thank Shell Pennzoil.
There you go. There you go. Well, that was an awesome fact. I'm happy to know that now. It's pretty cool. We all learned something tonight. Wayne, again, congratulations, man, tonight. Good job. And we'll see you next week.
All right, Brody. Thank you. Thank you, Richie.
No problem.
There's your winner tonight.
He's got me all choked up because now I'm thinking about my dad.
The winner tonight in the Shell Pennzoil number 7. Is that fair? Is that good? Wayne Grassi taking home the win there tonight. So congratulations to Wayne. That's awesome. So I guess I'll throw it to you for final thoughts on the race tonight.
Man, I tell you, it was a great race. I was on this edge of my seat for most of the race, especially with 19 to go when they all started going 3 wide. I would have really loved to have seen them be able to carry that all the way to the finish. But still, great race. Some late race chaos, and as I said, surprise winner at the end. Congratulations to Wayne on that.
Well, I tell you, these races are always kind of a crapshoot at the end. You kind of roll the dice and hope the things work out where they do. It did for the number 7 tonight. Wayne Grassi takes home the win. Some other guys not as lucky. You end up like the 10 truck and be on your roof. You're ready to get out of Talladega, but if you're in the 7 or the top 3 at the end of the race, you're like, oh, I made it through. So that is what it is. Race over. Wayne Grassi takes home the win. Remember, you can catch the races every night or every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. here on Full Throttle TV. The Sim Racing Points Truck Series in action again next week. And we head to, where do we head to next week? I know we went over at the beginning of the
Pocono
next week for the Sim Racing Points Truck Series. So you'll make sure you want to tune in for that. That should be a lot of fun to get back to that big, wide, unique track. Where is turn 4?
There is no turn 4. There's only 3, and they're all different.
So we'll do that next Wednesday night, but also next Monday night, they're here at Talladega, the Victory Fuel Cup Series back in action here on Full Throttle Sim Racing or Full Throttle Television. You'll want to catch it here 9 p.m. here on Full Throttle TV. And I'll have Tony Solari in the booth. We can watch you do circles, Richie.
Oh, joy, rapture. I can't wait.
But that'll about do us here at Talladega. Hope you guys were entertained and excited for the race. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll do it again next Monday night, 9 p.m. here on Full Throttle TV. Until then, for Tony Solari on the track, for Richie Coy in the booth.
He's here
in spirit.
He's here in spirit, yeah.
Everybody at Full Throttle Television, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next Monday night here at Talladega.